What are the best weapons we have against an alien invasion? We've all wondered whether we're alone on this big hunk of rock in the middle of a near infinite amount of space. But have you ever thought about what would happen if extraterrestrials ever visited the Earth? Would they be friendly, helpful denizens from a distant planet? Or malevolent creatures with sinister intent and the technology to do whatever they want? Many astronomers have deliberated on this possibility for years, and a lot of them agree that any visitors from outside our galaxy won't likely come in peace. So, in the event that we do find a host of alien invaders at our doorstep, what can we do? Running around in a panic might seem the most anticipated scenario for most people, according to almost every alien invasion in science fiction. And yeah, that probably holds up in terms of what would happen if aliens invaded the Earth at this moment. But that doesn't mean the human race is completely helpless, and that we don't have a means of fighting back. If aliens were to show up right now, we'd have a few problems though. Obviously, the first problem would be that we don't have a strategy in place for dealing with extraterrestrial life, especially if that entity ends up being hostile. At least that's the official story. Whether we actually have any secret weapon or procedures tucked away for a rainy alien invasion day remains a mystery. At least to us common folk with no security clearance. However, it isn't hard to imagine what would likely happen if aliens ever invaded. First and foremost, people would likely be told to go hide in their homes or in a safe shelter nearby. The government's next move would be dictated by whether the aliens are openly hostile from the start or not. But let's say they are, so we can skip all that moral debilitation of how to communicate with them and how we would establish contact, and head straight to Plan B, blasting them back to wherever they came from. Now, one thing you should keep in mind is that the effectiveness of the Earth's response is going to rely heavily on how advanced this alien civilization is. And let's be real, if they can make it all the way here from whatever galaxy they're from without us detecting them weeks or months before they get here, then they're light years ahead of us technology-wise. Plus, our high and mighty leaders aren't exactly instilling feelings of confidence in their ability to handle any given situation right now. Never mind something of that severity and magnitude. All of that aside, let's say we do manage to form a coordinated response team between a good number of countries without too much chaos and infighting. Our primary weapon against any race of space beings is our ability to strategize. They might have more advanced technology at their disposal, but we have the advantage of fighting on our home turf, for lack of a better word. We can mobilize a lot of people, weapons, and resources while they only have whatever they took with them coming here. We've also advanced enough to the point where we would come up with a good defense strategy by analyzing their weapons, their armor, if there were any, and the materials they had used to make whatever ship they came in. Armed with that information, we might be able to find weak spots that we can exploit. Which brings me to our second best defense, our ability to fight dirty. Sure, the alien race might have some unique tricks of their own, but let's face it, we're masters at finding new and ingenious ways to ruthlessly kill something. And this is the perfect opportunity to come up with barbaric ways to cripple an enemy and not feel any guilt about it. As for actual weaponry, our best bet would be our nukes and terminal high altitude area defense system. We could also be able to use surface-to-air missiles against them depending on how close they get. These might do little more than annoy them, but they will buy us some time to take them out in another way. And if we can't do that, then our most feasible course of action would be waiting them out while minimizing casualties as much as possible. Any invader will run out of resources sometime, and if we can wait them out long enough, then we have a chance of survival. That is, if they don't have a way of resupplying during the course of the prolonged war. So, what are the chances of this ever happening? According to astrophysicists, the chances of aliens existing and coming here are actually pretty high. Right now, we're sending a lot of signals out there, almost carelessly. Some of those are interstellar radio messages sent in the hope that something answers back. The question is, do we really want anything to answer back? If we do end up confirming that we aren't alone in space, it could hold serious consequences for us. Right now, we're still a technologically young species, and we could be vastly outgunned if we discover another race, or worse, we're discovered by them first. If you don't agree, then just take a moment to think about this. Look at the human race as an example. We have the ability to think critically and have pretty much taken over our planet. But we also have a history of warfare, envy, savagery, and greed. Humans can be extremely cruel in the name of self-enrichment and technological advancement. And there's nothing to suggest that a technologically advanced extraterrestrial race isn't going to think along those same lines. Every alien omelet requires breaking a few space eggs, right? And to them, the lives of us eggs probably wouldn't mean all that much if they could plunder the Earth for its resources or use it as a secondary colony planet for their people. And who could blame them? Because that's probably exactly what we would do too, given half the chance.